From Wish TV, your local news source, this is a Storm Track 8 weather alert.
Now at 5 o'clock, a high wind warning leaves thousands of people in central Indiana in the dark, and at one point more than 40,000 people didn't have power.
What you're looking at right now is video of some damage caused by those winds. The awning over gas pumps at the south side Phillips 66 on Keystone Avenue collapsed. Thanks for joining us tonight. Areas of central Indiana saw wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour today, including Crawfordsville, Zionsville, and the Indianapolis International Airport.
Yeah, it was really a mess out there. The winds created difficult travel conditions for bigger vehicles. These pictures from earlier today. This is on I-65 in Johnson County, where the winds blew over a semi and it backed up cars and trucks for miles.
Absolutely. We have team coverage of tonight's weather alert for you. We'll get to Travis Robinson and Tara Hastings in just a moment, but first, Wish TV Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown joins us now with the latest.
Indianapolis 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts today, and they're still pretty windy. We have a high wind warning. We have a wind advisory with us through 9 p.m. tonight, but even after that ends, we're still dealing with some really gusty winds for us. So let's dive in deep here as we continue to chat about the winds. So high wind warning in effect for areas north of Interstate 70, winds still gusting at 45 to 55 miles per hour here. South of Interstate 70, winds not as gusty, but the wind advisory in effect through 9 p.m. tonight. So wind staying with us, the temperatures they've been falling all day long. See, we started our day with temperatures in the 50s. We are now at 39 degrees for Kokomo, about 40 for Indianapolis. So temperatures continue to fall. And by late tonight, early tomorrow morning, we're talking below freezing. That's how we'll start our Thanksgiving day. Let's chat about the wind. Right now, this is our wind speed sustained at around 20 to 30 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour in Kokomo. Now, that's a lot, right? But when I talk about the wind gusts or the force of the wind right now, 43 miles per hour in Indianapolis, about 44 in Kokomo, winds gusting at 47 miles per hour right now in Muncie. So as winds continue to gust over the area, we'll keep those wind warnings and advisories in effect, and temperatures continue to take that dive. We're down to 37 by 10 p.m. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up to temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s. Here's the good news. Tomorrow, although it's a cooler day, we're no longer dealing with these gusty winds we've been dealing with throughout the day. But for that evening commute, if you're traveling out, you want to drive 10 and 2 and be careful out there. We're still dealing with strong gusty winds for the next several hours. Over to you.
All right, keep us posted, Ashley. Thank you very much. Hey, our team coverage continues right now with News 8's Travis Robinson.
And Travis, you talked with people who lost power today, right?
Yeah, for some people it was just no trouble at all. For others, though, they were very inconvenienced and very upset by what they had to go through. Indianapolis Power and Light says they have about 200 people out and about getting people's power back up and running. IPL says they had over 40,000 outages today, and as of about a few minutes ago, there were still about 10,000 people without power. They say the number's hard to cut down on because as soon as they fix one area, another goes down. Now, in this constant battle with the weather, it leaves many people without power for prolonged periods of time. Like one woman I met who lost power while she was out of the house and couldn't get back in because the power to her garage door was out.
I wish I would have thought better this morning. I would have at least kept our screen door locked. We have keys to our house, just no way to get to the lock to get in. So I would have thought about that. But when you're rushing around in the morning heading to work and our kids are off school, you're not thinking about that. So I worry more about like power lines falling on us or tree limbs when we're driving more than anything. So
this isn't that big of a deal to you guys?
It's not. I mean, I worry about getting cold. I'm hoping that, because I know there's probably a ton of people out. I've already looked at the outage board. So I just hope it's on by 3 or 4.
Now, IPL says they'll continue working around the clock, but probably won't have all the power back online until tomorrow. If you'd like to stay up to date with all the outages, IPL says you should follow them on their social media pages. I'm Travis Robinson, Wish TV News 8.
Travis, thank you. Dangerous weather conditions may affect your Thanksgiving travel plans as well.
That's right. Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings has a look at what you can expect, Tara.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of travel advisories for some counties. This means that drivers should use caution as you are out and about on the roadways tonight. So Hamilton, Henry, and Fayette counties are under that travel advisory. And pretty much everyone across the Great Lakes, we have that either high wind warning in effect until 9 o'clock or wind advisory. That includes Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, all the way off to the east across parts of Pennsylvania and as far south as eastern sections of Kentucky. Out to the west, we have Purples and pinks. This is winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in effect for a storm system that is going to move on to the west coast. First, we'll talk about this one. This begins to move off to the east. The winds begin to die down across much of the Great Lakes tomorrow morning, so much better driving conditions tomorrow. But off to the west, we do have this big storm system that's going to move through. So if you are to be flying out to the west around the Rockies, it is going to be slow going. We're going to see strong winds and heavy snowfall. Could see snowfall right around a foot in parts of the west. Phil?
All right, Tara, thank you very much. There are two closures that we want to tell you about due to today's high winds. The Chris Kindle Mart in Carmel shut down. City officials say the winds blew some equipment around the area. It's not safe for visitors. It's set to open up back tomorrow at 4 p.m. The high winds also prompting the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to cancel the opening night of the Lights of the Brickyard. It will open tomorrow night instead. The 2-mile light course is now in its 4th year, running through the IMS infield and historic oval. It features more than 3 million lights and dozens of colorful displays. New for this year are some out-of-car experiences, including a fun photo opportunity at IMS Plaza. Lights of the Brickyard runs through January 5th. Tickets start at $25.
And remember to keep track of the forecast with our Storm Track 8 weather app. You can get easy access to current conditions, an hour-by-hour forecast, and live interactive radar. It's free for iPhone and Android users. Just head over to your app store. Some more local headlines now. An honor walk held today for a West Washington football coach who passed away earlier this week.
Yeah, his name was Philip Bousman, known for his generous heart, and those who knew him best say this was a fitting final act. News 8's Sierra Higg-Knight was there to witness the walk, and she joins us now with more. Sierra.
You guys, I think the only word to describe what happened in that hallway today was powerful. People from all over West Washington community traveled more than 2 hours to stand up with Philip Bousman and his family as they were able to walk with him one last time.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
The hallway of St. Vincent Hospital lined with red, white, and blue, but filled with sadness and tears. A final tribute to Philip Bousman as he makes one last act of giving.
When people remember Coach Bousman, they're going to remember the fact that he was always so positive, and he made you feel like you were the most important thing at the moment.
Former students and athletes from Bousman's 20 years in education, as well as friends and family members, came to Indianapolis for a final tribute and to honor the impact he had on their community.
You know, one of the kids said it best, that a lot of people on the team call him dad number 1, and to some of them he's dad number 2. And there's going to be a big void, and there's going to take a lot of people to step up and fill it.
To them, he was more than just a football coach.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the life of Philip Bousman, a tremendous friend, an amazing mentor to young men and women, and a lover of God.
And Coach Bousman is my closest friend, so it's difficult, but I know what he'd want me to do, and that would be to lead these kids through this difficult time, and I'm going to do that the best I can to honor him.
His death has left the West Washington community heartbroken, but they rejoice knowing Philip is still helping others.
It's pretty fitting. Again, like I said, he's an extremely generous person, sacrificing himself all the time, and for this to be his final act, it doesn't surprise me one bit, the choice that he made.
One donor can save up to 8 lives, and so honoring them this way just really emphasizes that fact that this person is a hero, and their decision to say yes to donation is a heroic act.
Before Philip's last surgery, his family shared that he asked the surgical staff to pray with him, so it seemed only fitting that during his final walk, that is just what they did.
We can rejoice in the fact that we know exactly where Philip's going, and that in true Philip Bousman fashion, his last act
was of giving and generosity so that other people may continue to have their loved ones.
Schools around the state are being encouraged to turn on their football stadium lights for 24 hours on Friday in memory of Coach Bousman. Reporting, I'm Sierra Hignite, Wish TV News 8.
Sierra, thank you very much. And visitation for Coach Bousman is set for Friday from 11 to 8 o'clock at Mount Tabor Christian Church in Salem. A funeral service will begin at the church on Saturday at noon. If you'd like to learn more information about Coach Bousman and the memorials in his honor, you can find this story at wishtv.com. In other news this evening, an embattled Indiana University professor defending his social media comments that the school and others have called racist, sexist, and homophobic.
Eric Rasmussen is answering questions from News 8's Richard Essex. Richard, this is the first time we've heard directly from him since this controversy exploded last week.
Well, Eric Rasmussen is standing by those comments. I sent him a series of questions to get his reaction to a statement last week from IU Provost. It was a rare and lengthy statement condemning Rasmussen's social media comments. The 10-year economics professor at the IU Kelley School of Business fired back, answering the provost's criticism line by line. He does stand by his comments that women are better suited to stay at home and says affirmative action has lowered the standards in academia by establishing race quotas. And he says that homosexuals should not teach grade or high school. Over the last several days, I've been in contact with the Professor Rasmussen, and he finally agreed to answer my questions. I asked him, given the chance, would he accept an invitation to have a face-to-face conversation with the people asking the university to fire him?
Oh, I'd love to have an honest face-to-face civil conversation. One of the problems here is I'm dealing with a lot of anonymous people, and it's hard to deal with that. Also, there's been a lot of misstatements about me, so my first piece of advice is when you read something, doubt it and look for links. Second, think about, even if you disagree with me, as to whether maybe it's good for the university to have one conservative professor, however wrong he may be, alongside the 1,000 liberal professors, however right you think they are. Maybe diversity is actually a good thing for students, right?
The university says that they cannot fire him based upon his personal use of Twitter. IU students that are taking his classes have been given the option to opt out of his class. Now, coming up at 6, he talks why he is staying in academia. In the studio, Richard Essex, Wish TV, News 8.
Richard, thank you very much. Making sure kids have what they need for the holidays, how a local school district is giving back, and how you can help.
Plus, coming up shortly, the Moselle Sanders Foundation says they need help reaching their fundraising goal this year.